Ladies and gentlemen, this is Healthy Trucker, brought to you by CFF Nation. My name is Wade Marshall, your host for today. Today we've got Derek McClain on with us, and we're discussing the state of the transportation industry is in regards to health, and what better way to talk about it and really dive in than to bring in an expert. So we've brought in Derek McClain. Thank you, Derek, for coming in and talking to us today.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Excellent. So jumping right in, I mean, from your perspective, what is the state of the industry? What's going on out there that leads you to believe that there is this necessity for your expertise?
Well, I do think that the state of the industry in terms of health as it relates to trucking has improved as far as awareness is concerned. Companies are more aware that there's an issue. Drivers are more aware that there's an issue. The DOT and regulations and things like that are being enforced that indicate we care about drivers being healthy, to the point to where we're going to make rules and laws and continue to look at this to encourage drivers to make changes. Otherwise, it may be their career that they end up losing if things go too far and they get to that real unhealthy state. So what we're trying to do at the Healthy Trucker is catch them before that happens, help them develop these healthy habits when they are first entering their career, because as we all know, truck driving is a huge lifestyle change, especially for a brand new driver who's never done it before. So really it's looking at that lifestyle, looking at how you can make healthy habits, healthy choices to make sure that you have a long-lasting and successful career.
Fantastic. I mean, that's quite interesting to see this new dynamic starting with healthier foods, even just starting with food itself, and being aware that, it's easy just to stop off, go grab a burger, get back in your truck and drive, than it is to really be conscientious about what you're actually putting in your body. Right.
And so often we get on this, and I call it, and other people call it this too, mindless eating state, to where we do the same things over and over. We don't think about it, and unless there's some type of health complication or some other wake-up call, we're just going to continue to do that. But when you really stop to think about, okay, what did I just eat? I mean, and you really look at it, you're like, maybe that wasn't the best decision, and maybe if I continue to do this, I'm not going to be in a very good place 2, 3, 4 months from now. So it's really just kind of opening the eyes up to get people to just slow down. I know truck drivers are busy. They have places they need to get to on time. But taking some time to plan ahead, especially when it comes to the meal part of it, can make a world of difference.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that mindless eating, it doesn't just happen in the trucking industry, but it is something that you catch yourself in it all the time, and it's so easy to fall trap and fall victim to this. It's just easier, and that convenience has made us unhealthy. And so, you look at these truckers that are taking that initiative and doing better and eating better. The problem comes in is that instigation. Was it a doctor that said you need to do this, or another burger and you're not going to drive anymore? Or, what is, in your experience, what is the key contributor? What wakes them up? Is it usually just this health concern all of a sudden pops up and doctor says, hey, you've got to watch out? Or is it something else?
It's a variety of things, and I really think that it all depends on kind of where that person's at in life. It could be something big as the doctor saying, hey, you've got to change or you're going to die, all the way to something, I don't want to say as trivial, but as everyday as I came home, my son wanted to play football, and I couldn't even run, I couldn't even keep up with him, I'm out of breath. I can't even play with my son. Like, what's going on here? This isn't me. So to of course, looking in the mirror and not even being able to recognize yourself. I mean, I think that's one that a lot of people have kind of got to that point, and that was their wake up call. But one story that I'll tell real quick is a driver that I had talked to, and his job was to go pick up abandoned trucks. So when someone would quit, as we all know, there's a high turnover rate in trucking, or for whatever reason the truck would be abandoned, he would go pick that up. And there was one particular case where they hadn't heard from the driver for a period of 4 or 5 days, had no idea what was going on. He pulled up to the truck, opened the truck door. Immediately he could smell something, knew something bad had happened. Opened the door. The truck driver had passed away, unfortunately, but when he looked around the truck, the big thing and all he saw were Mountain Dew bottles everywhere. And this isn't to seem scary, but that's the type of wake-up call that it takes for some people to really say, okay, I need to make a change and I need to do it now. And what we're trying to do is prepare people and make sure that it never gets to that phase, because while that's scary, it's also very real. And it's something that none of us ever want to have to do, and it's something that, I mean, that guy's going to remember for the rest of his life. Yeah,
and he pulled up to a situation where the truck was pulled over. Things happen very, very quickly, and you have not only a responsibility to yourself to be healthy for yourself, but you have a responsibility to be healthy for those around you. You're driving something that is monstrously big in comparison to 98% of traffic. Some episode, something happens, this could have been a lot more catastrophic, and to pull up to something like that would have been much more devastating. But it is real. It is most definitely real.
Exactly. And like you said, other people around you, a lot of drivers, they have families, they have kids, they have wives and husbands and people that are counting on them, and really your body and your health, you only get one chance at that. As big of a pain as it is for a truck to break down and things to go wrong with the truck, that can be replaced, that can be fixed. But the thing that's really going to drive your career and make sure that you can stay out there getting the miles, and quite frankly live a better lifestyle, is going to be investing in your health and thinking of that food as fuel, just like the fuel that you put in your truck. And is it going to fuel you to get you through the miles, or is it going to fuel you for an hour and then all at once you're sleepy and barely able to keep your eyes open? Exactly. Those are the things you really need to think about.
No, exactly. I mean, and it goes in line with, we preach when we're talking about financing and we're talking about your business. We have a very big section in one of our booklets. We wrote a booklet, as you can see behind me, 10 tips every independent trucker needs to know now. And one of our tips in here is, preparing for a maintenance plan. Your truck's going to break down. You've got to have a section of money saved up in case your truck breaks down. Well, same thing with the human body. I mean, you've got to take care of yourself, just like you have to take care of your truck. You're so concerned about making sure that the wheels keep turning so you can keep driving revenue, which is imperative, yes. But at the same time, if you're not in that same understanding of you need a maintenance program too, that again, you're going to stop that rev gen. If you're out for 2 months because you had a heart attack or you've had some complication in your health, that could have been avoided by having that maintenance plan, by having a strategic planning, like you said, of meals to eat, or just running around your truck, doing something different. Being active it's critical, and I really think it's important. Which brings me to the exercise portion of it. Covering food, yes, that's imperative, but you still need to eat right, but you also need to be active. Talk to me a little bit about some of the points of view you have on being active.
So I have a real strong point of view on this.
Okay.
Let me share that with you. It doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you're an office worker, a truck driver, whatever it is that you do, you're going to see people that have the same mindset. They're going to have excuses. They're going to see their environment, their situation as a roadblock, as something that hinders them from getting in exercise, or they're going to see opportunities. Mm-hmm. Perfect example, I talk to truck drivers all the time. I'm a member of countless Facebook groups that really allow me to connect with those drivers on a more personal level. And the outlook on the situation can be as good or as bad as you want to make it. Mm-hmm. And let me give you an example. So I'm in a different city every day. I never know where I'm going to be stopped. I don't have enough time to get in a workout. You know, I'm driving for 11 hours a day. I have to take a break. They see all of these things as stuff that works against them, whereas things like the mandatory break, that's a chance to get in a workout. It doesn't, you've got 30 minutes that you have to stop, that you have to not be driving. Use that to do something, even if it's just 15 minutes. And use the fact that you're in a different city every day to get out and explore and see what that city has to offer, even if you're just walking around. I understand that there's safety concerns at truck stops, and it's not always the cleanest thing, but if you take some time and look at the resources that are available, a lot of which are on our site and other places out there, you can find trails, you can find places to exercise. There's one trucker that comes to mind who his big thing is he loves to ride his bike. He has the whole setup on his truck where he has his bike there that goes everywhere with him. Every new city, every chance he gets, he's out there exploring. He's taking pictures while he's riding, while he's getting in the exercise. So he views it as this great opportunity to say, you know, I've rode across the Golden Gate Bridge. I've done all these awesome things, rather than seeing it as a roadblock and something that's keeping him from getting out there and exercise.
Yeah, it's looking beyond the truck for something else. You know, I was just writing down a note. You know, where are the gyms, so to speak, at the truck stops? You know, if they put like you know, you go down to the park and you see the pull-up bar and you see the, you know, just different pieces of outdoor equipment that you could do some stuff on. Yeah, it looks like a playground, but at the truck stop, where are those? You know, right. All you see there is vending machines and sodas and, you know, stuff like that. But you've got your truck. You see that as a roadblock, like you said, you know, an excuse not to do it. Well, it's not available to me. You've got a truck that's got bars and handles and all kinds of cool stuff on it. You know, there's all kinds of things. So give like at least 1, 2, 3, you know, little exercises they could do just to start out, because I'm assuming you would never tell anybody just jump right in, go into a 30-minute workout hardcore. You know, it's getting yourself, you know, those steps moving forward towards it.
Right. So the best place to start on our site at thehealthytrucker.net/exercise. Mm-hmm. This is something that we've put together specifically for people who want to exercise with their truck and are looking for these ideas that you just mentioned. And you're going to see 15 or so videos demonstrating a lot of exercises that you can do with your truck. But a perfect example, we ran across a truck driver on his break. He had his door open, his music cranked up, had his resistance band threaded through the handle of his truck. He was out there doing rows with the truck. He came over to the tires, was able to do dips, you know, so he was working his tris and his chest a little bit with that. He was doing high knees, just kind of walking in place, getting his knees up above his waist to focus on his core. But he had this whole circuit. Jump rope was another thing that he was doing. He had this whole circuit that he had put together that while he was waiting on the dispatcher, waiting on his next load, he was able to just jump out of his truck, get it in. He didn't have to go anywhere. He was able to use his truck to his advantage to do some of these exercises, and he saw it as an opportunity. And he was an older driver, but in great shape, and he's in some of our videos. His name's Jerry, but I run into him occasionally again, and he's dedicated to seeing this as an opportunity, and he doesn't even view it as, as a problem. Like he's like, I've never thought of it that way. Yes, there are a lot of drivers that do, but it's all just about your outlook on it.
Yeah, so now turning it into mindless exercise, just something you do, and I think that's important. So, so we talk about the exercise part of it, and we've talked to other people in regards to it. I mean, how many times is it around the truck is a mile?
I've seen everything from 32 to 36 laps.
Yeah.
And I'm actually a big runner myself. When I did it, it was 34 laps, so it was kind of right in between there. But a lot of it has to do with, how big you make that circle around the truck.
Yeah.
But right around 32 to 36 laps.
Gotcha.
And, of course, we have apps and things that we recommend, so you can track that and get that down. And then, obviously, once you know it, you can be able to do it. Yeah.
That's cool. And, so there's exercise, there's eating healthy, and all these things blend to one common denominator, and that's just yourself, taking care of yourself. That you've got to mentally be prepared to understand that you're important. Your body's important. You're important to other people. You're important to yourself. And overcoming that initial, well, I don't care because it's me, is very difficult. I have a hard time going to the gym, and I work in an office environment.
Right. Yeah, and that's one thing that we try to get across via social media, via our website, is that we care about drivers, but we can't care more about them than they care about themselves.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So we can give you all the resources, all the ideas, all the tips, everything, but you have to actually go out there and do it. And we're never going to stop. We're always going to believe in them. We're always going to be there for them no matter. And one of the things I make very clear, especially on our Facebook page, is that there are going to be struggles. It's not easy. And truck drivers do have some cards stacked against them that other people don't. But that's all in the challenge. That's all of what should drive you and keep you going. And I promise you that you're going to feel so much better after you do a workout, after you eat better, than if you're constantly sitting around, I'll start next week.
Yeah,
I'll start
that
next
procrastination,
week.
Yeah. So, were you a driver before? Have you driven? Did you, why trucking? What got you into trucking and helping truck drivers become healthier?
So I've always had a passion for exercise and fitness. It started in high school. I took several courses in college in the exercise and fitness arena. And then as I started my career, my background's in marketing and online internet marketing. I fell into a role with the truck driver recruiting company and have been in that role for a while. So I've seen firsthand and talked to numerous truck drivers who've started their first job in the industry. They felt overwhelmed. A year later, they've put on 80 pounds. They are facing things like diabetes and high blood pressure and things that have the potential to end their career much sooner than what it needs to. And we saw this opportunity that we need to reach these people. It's not just about getting someone started in that career. It's about helping them be successful once they've started. And as we all know, there's a demand for truck drivers, and a lot of it has to do with health. They get 10, 15 years into their driving career, and they can't do it anymore for a lot of health reasons. So really it's a need that needs to be served, and it's one that we want to put as much information out there because we do truly care, and it is our passion.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it seems to me that you take into consideration the their environment to make it easier, that you're not asking them to go get a Gold's membership. You're not asking them to push their truck down the highway by hand. It's simple little movements, little things that they can do that can have a dramatic result, and just to better their lives. And we appreciate everything you're doing for the industry. I think it's phenomenal, and I think it's very, very important, and a lot of times overlooked.
Yeah, thank you, and I'm glad you noticed that, because that's one of the things that we take pride in is we're not going to go out there and push some strict diet that really for a lot of people it's not doable. It's not reasonable to ask someone to start off only eating, going with a no carb diet, or only eating fruits and vegetables or something like that. So we start off with manageable tips, and we start off with, let's just get you out there 10, 15 minutes a day or 3 or 4 days a week, just something to get started. And really, I hope a lot of drivers out there see that and appreciate that. I think they do. We've got a lot of overwhelming response from it. But our hope is to start small, start building those habits. If you want to take it to that next level, you can, but you're going to be a lot better off doing these things.
Fantastic. So tell me, how can people find you? How do they, Twitter, on Facebook? You said you got a website. Give us those addresses. Let people know, how can they reach you?
Okay. So the website is just thehealthytrucker.net. Yes, unfortunately, .com was already taken, so thehealthytrucker.net. Twitter is at @healthy_trucker. And then Facebook is you can just search for Healthy Trucker, or just go to facebook.com/Healthy Trucker. There's no "the" in that. So those are the main areas that you can connect with us. And then, of course, we're on YouTube. Again, it's just Healthy Trucker on YouTube. And we have a lot of videos there showing some of the exercises and meal tips and things that we've talked about.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Derek. So as you can see, the industry is craving and needing this kind of information, and you can find it at cffnation.com. You can follow us at cffnation on Twitter. Myself, Wade.Marshall on Twitter, and we look forward to more episodes, and we'd love to have you back on. Thank you so very much, Derek.
Thank you. Appreciate you having us.
You have a good one. Take care.